Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony here with you here today. What to do when you kind of feel like a misfit? After going through emotional abuse, emotional battering, dealing with a narcissist, a psychopath, an emotional abuser, really whatever the label you wanna call them, a manipulator. Oftentimes, if we've experienced some chronic abuse, people generally find and report that they feel like a misfit. They feel like something is missing within them. They feel like they just don't fit in. They feel an unexplained sense of they just don't belong. And it can be very lonely, kind of a confusing feeling. However, I want you to realize that this feeling, I believe this feeling like a misfit or you really don't fit in, is due to the inappropriate negative messages that you have received or have been embedded in you from this person. So the person is generally, they're generally jealous of you. They've made slanderous comments about you, inappropriate comments to you. You were not able to speak back to them. You weren't able to hold your ground. You feel like you have to constantly explain and justify yourself, constantly stand up for yourself, and oftentimes you're being criticized and you're being slandered, you're being belittled for no reason whatsoever. I think of a client of mine who talks about how her grandmother would constantly be on her and in her business and tell her, don't wear those shoes, you've got to save them for a better situation. I mean, just, her regular everyday shoes. I mean, just trying to control every single aspect of their life. And it can be very confusing. It can be very disruptive. It can be very uprooting. And receive these constant kind of messages about how you should be, what you should do, how you should act, what you should wear. It becomes a really sort of disconnect within the self, and then you're trying to please this other person, and you're in the same breath, you're repressing what you know is right and adaptive for you and proper for you, which is not right for them. And so you're having to live a lie or live their lie for them, just to keep them happy, to keep yourself from being further, just to basically, as they say, shut them up. I mean, that's not a way to live. You're absolutely, positively not required to do that. If you've been with this person for some time and you've idealized this person, in other words, you've kind of put them on a pedestal, you feel like they've basically saved your life for some reason, or they're your hero, a boyfriend that you met. Oftentimes, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you meet this person and you feel like, you owe them everything. They took you out to dinner, and next thing you know, you've committed your whole life to them. They gave you a flower, and you feel like, you have to sleep with them for the next 3 months. I mean, you have to realize that you're better than that, and, you deserve more than that, and you're more valuable than that sort of treatment. But sometimes feeling like a misfit causes people to act in these kind of sort of crazy manners that are sabotaging, which means counter to your own good or your own self-worth. So really realize that this estranged feeling, or feeling alone, or feeling like you're a misfit, chances are this original emotion was put in there by just a manipulative person. And I want you to now begin to embrace the true, authentic, real part of you that is talented, that has a voice, that has talents, that has real emotions and feelings, and has a lot of good to give to the world. Because chances are that's what you are, not a misfit. You've heard of the indigo child, those people who are sensitive, who have strengths in specific areas. There's a lot of people who have done a tremendous amount of good by having the sensitive qualities that they have. I mean, look at people, great stories of success, like Helen Keller, a woman, I think she lived, was it in the 1800s, late 1800s, who was blind, deaf, and could not speak. So all these handicaps, and she was able to learn sign language, The story of Helen Keller, I remember reading this as a child, and she first made her first word or connection when she was, I'm not sure if she was 5 or 6, but she was over at a water pump, and I think they spelled out the word water in sign language into her hand. And somehow, even though she could not see it, even though she could not hear it, she could feel it. And she felt that this person who was trying so hard to connect with her and develop a communication, they were able to spell water in sign language into her hand. And I have worked with the handicapped, and I taught myself quite a bit of sign language. It's a beautiful language. It's very pictorial, and is very symbolic. So if you want to go check out some of that, it's very interesting. I mean, I think it's so courageous for these people to rise above their handicaps, and I find it very inspiring. So let that be you. Let yourself, give yourself time and permission to discover your true voice, your true personality, your true character, your true gifts that are just lurking there underneath the surface, that are the true you just waiting to shine. The messages that were given to you from the narcissist, the manipulator, the emotional abuser, they were not truth. They were not your reality. That was their reality. All the fear, all the manipulation, that was within them. It is not yours. You do not own that fear. You do not own those negative viewpoints. You do not own those lambasting comments. You don't own that violence. You have, you're on the path to healing, and that says a lot. If you're on the path to healing, that means you've got a healed part of you that's really just trying to push for expression. So pay attention and honor those great desires within you, because once you start using the tools here that we describe in this channel, you're going to start to raise up that wounded person and become a healed person raised up. And after you apply the tools and work on it on a consistent basis, and you are committed, you're going to start to feel the results. Absolutely positively. You're going to feel a shift, a change taking within you, and you're going to start to become more at peace, more whole. You're going to start to have a greater sense of well-being and a new kind of perspective on things. And you're going to especially get perspective on some of these manipulative people, and you're going to be able to identify them, and that's going to be a very important source of knowledge for you in terms of moving forward and keeping on a path towards your greatest self, your greatest experience, the good life for you, which means pursuing things that are of interest and of importance to you, the ability to have a job and not show up there crying, not feeling like a misfit, not feeling like you're missing something, not feeling like you're shameful, that you've been this abused person that you're just dragging around. You're going to start to emerge as a new healed person, and that healed person is what's going to interact with the world, and that is a beautiful day. Peace and harmony here with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please share and subscribe for more great tools, videos, and discussions.